And a partridge in a pear tree, we're back.
And it's time for the holiday season.
Woo! It's Christmas time. So, as usual, we will be reviewing a bunch of Christmas related, um, not like just movies, but stuff in general. Like, some of these will be sort of like specials that were like on television and stuff. Um, this, I think I remember watching this. I'm not 100% sure. Something about it seems kind of familiar. This is the 12 Days of Christmas. So, this was an animated special that aired on NBC in 1993. The story was written by Romeo Mueller, a longtime writer for many of the Rankin Bass specials and shows. However, he unfortunately would die 1 year before the special was aired.
Yeah, and the first one I found online when I watched it, at the end they attached a little mini biography about him, which was a nice little touch. The animation was directed by Masaki Izuka, another longtime Rankin Bass collaborator who produced the animation for many of their works. Like, Rankin Bass actually outsourced a lot of the animation into Japanese studios. And there were several legendary Japanese animators that I collaborated with them over the years. And the reason this was actually disclosure, this was recommended to us by our friend Sean. He recorded seeing it years ago, mainly because it featured the voice of the late great Phil Hartman, who voices the main character, Holly Berry.
All right, so that's really like all we have on this, because this isn't like, even though this came out in the 90s, it's not a very well known special. I don't think a lot of people know about this one. Again, we kind of like, our thing is we review a lot of obscure animation. And this one was also, I think this was from Good Time Entertainment. Let me check real quick.
At least it was distributed by them.
Yeah, so, hang on, 12 Days of Christmas movie. Dude, wait, there's more than one 12 Days of Christmas movie?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, there's like 3 of them. What?
Holy crap.
Wow. Yeah, this was from... Let me see. Does it say who it was? Yeah, like, I think this is by, like, one of the companies that kind of made a bunch of, what's the word? Like, Disney knockoffs, mockbusters. Because I don't think this company is around anymore. And also, the thing is, when you look at, like, the cover of this, the characters, I feel like some of the characters don't really look like how they look in the movie. They seem more polished, or at least that's how I feel.
Yeah, that's how it tends to go with those
go ahead.
Video releases.
Yeah, so for some reason it's anthropomorphic animals. I'm not
particularly
sure
bears.
Why.
I don't know why. Maybe because hang on, when did Tailspin come out? Oh, cause let's see, Tailspin came
that
out
was in the 90s.
1990. Maybe they were trying to capitalize on the popularity of Tailspin.
Probably, because Tailspin was pretty popular.
Yeah, cause some of the characters look like they'd be in that show, I feel like. So, yeah, we're getting off topic. So, anyway, this special begins with a partridge on a Christmas tree who serves as the narrator for this special.
I have just a quick question. Was she supposed to be British?
She kind of sounded British. Yeah.
Barely. At least, maybe there's something wrong with me. I could not hear the British accent, but I think she was supposed to be British.
Yeah, so anyway, she narrates the story about a knight named Sir Carol Boomer who's desperately in love with Princess Silverbell. However, she always rejects his proposals for marriage. As the narrator puts it, she suffers from a case of melancholy.
Yeah, she depressed. Very depressed. But also this Carol Boomer guy, he's like Gaston if Gaston was a furry.
Yeah, it gave me strong Gaston vibes.
Yeah, because the thing is, he talks about how much he loves her, but never says like
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
He just seems
Like,
to. I think it's because she's like
oh yeah,
like
he thinks he's playing hard to get or something like that.
yes, he literally says that because I mean, her thing is like I want someone to make me laugh. It's like there's also sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there is a fairy tale that I think they might have taken a little bit of inspiration from, and it's like called the Princess Who Never Smiled, or the Princess Who Never Laughed. And in the story, there's a princess who is so unbelievably sad. She's like never smiled in her entire life, or she was like, depending on the version, she's never smiled ever, or she got so like sad she stopped smiling, and the king's like, okay, so whoever can make my princess smile will end up, marrying her, and it ends up being like a pauper, someone who, doesn't have like a title or a penny to their name. I think they might have taken inspiration kind of from that.
I can see it. So anyway, he refuses all of his proposals, and his esquire is the wimpy Hollyberry, voiced by the late great Phil Hartman himself. And sometimes I forget Hartman can actually do more than one voice. Sometimes I'm so used to hearing him do that Troy McClure voice, but I forgot he can do other voices as well. So it's John to hear him do this high-pitched, nasally, wimpy voice.
It doesn't sound like him at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, in order to impress her, because, it's the holidays, Carol Boomer's like, I need to get her Christmas list. Well, I think it's Holly Berry who steals the list, isn't it?
Yeah, he tasked Holly Berry to steal the list, but as he's finding the list and it's about to hand it, she has to stop by the royal puzzle maker, who...
Yeah, because every castle has a royal puzzle maker.
And her father demands the answers to next week's big crossword puzzle. And I'm going to admit, this was actually a pretty clever twist on the tale. Like, all the answers to the crossword are... Yeah, so Holly Berry accidentally steals the crossword puzzle answers. And because each one's associated with the number, they think it's the princess's Christmas list. It's like, they think she wants one partridge, two turtle doves, three French hens, so on and so forth. I actually thought that was... Yeah,
because the way it's written, it's like, one across is partridge in a pear tree, two down is two turtle doves, and I'm like, okay, that actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that was
in a way
actually a clever twist on it. And despite how strange it was, as a knight insists Holly Berry gets everything on the list
without doing any work. Poor Holly Berry, geez.
Mm-hmm.
And because I mean, when you also think about it, it's like, why on earth would this woman want these many birds? And see, the thing is so the partridge, if he manages to find like a grove of fruit trees, like what are the odds, and he finds an apple tree, and then I think he mentions about not being able to find a partridge, and the partridge, who was like the narrator, says like, hey, I'm up here, and he's like, I need you. He's like, I don't go anywhere without my pear tree. So Holly Berry just up and takes the tree with him. Like, okay, just gonna dig this up, put it in some dirt, and roll it over to the princess. And she's, of course, confused.
Yeah, especially since they introduce each gift each day in song. And it's funny, because the king overhears it and realizes partridge is the answer and writes it down in the crossword. And because he's confused, she sees a gift as confusion and insists as they take it away.
And also, I think the princess is allergic to feathers, too.
Oh, yeah, it reveals let's go down. But Carol Boomer insists he tries to give her back at the partridge the next day along for the next gift, which is two. So
that's why, they repeat the whole, two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah, and so on and so forth. 3 French hens, and they eat escargot, of course, because they're French.
Oh my god.
Huh?
This was so stupid. Okay, so, I mean, I know, like, they were like, oh, we have to make sure they're French. But it's like, well, you guys already gave them accents. Because, like, even Holly Berry's talking to them and they say, no, no, no. And he goes, wee, wee, wee. It's like, just have them do the accents. They don't have to eat the escargot.
And of course comes the first songbirds. But that's when her allergies start acting up. So she threatens to Holly Berry, if you come back here, my father's gonna cut off your head.
He doesn't. I mean, but I think the threat scares him enough that he tells Carol Boomer he doesn't want to go back, but then Carol Boomer threatens him.
Yeah, he threatens to throw him in the dungeon. But the princess's father, because he's getting all the answers at crossroads, tries to encourage her to put up with the gifts so he can get all the answers. Yes. And
she does it for him because she loves her dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so despite all that, the portraits encourages Halle Berry to keep trying. And it gets to the point where, you get the point. The 8 maids are milking to the point where she says, look, just leave the cows, I'll take the birds.
And she even squished them in the face with milk.
And the 10... No, wait, was it 11 pipers piping or 10? Either way, it was 10 pipers piping. Like,
12 Lords of Leaping.
He can only... Huh?
11 pipers pipe, 10 Lords of Leaping, 11 pipers piping, 10 ladies dancing, 9 maids milking, yeah.
Yeah, since he could only find 10, he filled in as the other piper. And kind of embarrassed himself to the point where she almost laughs, or at least lets out a light chuckle.
She smiles, yeah.
Then, and I believe it comes... Oh yeah, this gets close to the point where it's the last day, I think. I'm trying to remember what happens that 12th day. What's the last... I gotta look at the lyrics, damn it.
Okay, hang on. It's 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, and then 4 calling birds. I think they changed this up a little bit.
Oh yeah, it was the 12 lords a leaping in this special.
Yeah.
And to try to get them to leap higher, they put hot peppers in their shoes. And Halle Berry...
That's not how peppers really work, but okay.
And this time, Carol Boomer actually joined Ansem this time for the final day.
Finally.
And Halle Berry...
Get your ass out here, dude.
And Halle Berry, as again, he gets knocked down by the lords, and the princess starts laughing hysterically because it finally laughs. And as she finally comes down, she says, as she'll marry the one who made them laugh. But...
And of course, Carol Boomer thinks it's him. He's like, yes, finally. And she's like, no, not you.
Yeah, so
and
that's the end of the special.
Well, yeah, she ends up with Holly Berry. And you guys are going to be like, why is this so short? This was a very short...
Yeah, it was only like 21 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's probably why they stretched it out with that biography on Romeo Muller. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just so short. And then, like, so, I kind of,
I mean, I thought it was okay. There was some clever jokes here and there, and Phil Hartman was a good voice actor, and if you want to put on for a time killer, there's worse things you can find for your kids or your family, I feel.
Oh yeah, like, it's not fantastic, but, like, it's not god-awful. It's, like, in the middle. It's one of those things, it's like, you're not going to be mad that you watched it. Because Because I mean, also like I think the thing is you and I have since we've been doing this show for like what almost 2 years,
Yeah, that's
we've
bad.
lost like stuff that's a lot worse. And I do think they did try. I thought it was pretty creative. It's like taking all the things in the songs, trying to come up with reasons for how to get them and everything. And like I also said, I really do like how you know, she decides she's going to go with Holly Berry because he's the one who put in the work.
Oh
Carol
yeah,
Boomer didn't
definitely.
do anything.
And,
Carol Boomer just said, "Go get this stuff and say it's on my behalf." It's like, like he doesn't like. And the reason I say he's like Gaston is he talks about like how pretty the princess is, but it's like, is there anything else you like about her? He doesn't seem to say a single thing about her specifically.
yeah, like
He's
how
like,
Gaston says, she's the prettiest one in town. That makes her the best. And don't I deserve the best?
and he's also just so mean to Holly Berry.
Oh
Like
yeah, he's a
Holly Berry does
jerk.
everything he asks for, and he's like, hey, they threatened to like chop off my head, and he's like, oh well, if you don't do what I tell you, then you're gonna have to answer to me. And I'm just like, you're not doing you know like helping yourself here, dude. You're not helping your case like at all. Um, but yeah, I would probably give this like maybe a 3. Again,
Yeah,
not
three
the
sounds,
best, but not
sounds
the
about
worst.
good. Like, I can
Plus,
see why this
Phil Hartman.
special is forgotten, but it's still far worse specials out there. Especially
Yeah.
the stuff we reviewed in the past.
Oh yeah. So this might be like a little bit of a shorter episode, but like the next episode I think will be a little longer. But because the news I think since it's sort of like the holidays, there hasn't been a lot of different news. But to kind of the surprise of no one, Thanksgiving box office record, Moana 2 scores dazzling 225 million debut. Wicked adds its huge 118 million.
Yeah,
So,
like this was over the 4-day Thanksgiving weekend.
is anyone surprised though?
Honestly, no. Because, as regardless of the mixed reviews wanted to again, people are still gonna see it.
Yeah, me and my friend are gonna see it because we're both people who we like to, form our own opinions. Because we saw Wish after everyone's like, "Oh my God, Wish is the worst animated film ever." We both liked Wish. So it's like, and besides, I love the character of Moana. It's like, even if this movie's not fantastic, I at least get to see, my girl. So, and of course, like, I don't know, for some reason, people thought Wicked was gonna fail. Okay, guys, the musical, when it came out, it was like how Hamilton was today. The musical came out in 2003. And despite that, it's still been a very popular musical. The musical is like 21 years old, and people still really enjoy it. People love to sing the songs, etc., etc. It actually became the highest grossing like musical film. It surpassed Grease.
Yeah, like, holy
And
crap.
yeah, but it's like also, you have Ariana Grande as one of the leads.
Yeah.
Of course it's gonna be good.
Yeah, Wicked
Or
has...
at least it's gonna do well. Go ahead. No.
Wicked has a budget of
Go ahead.
150 million. So far, it's grossed over 382 million worldwide. And even in its second weekend, when it's up against Moana 2, it's got strong legs on it.
Yeah. It's holding its own. And the thing is, the only like other big film I think that's coming out this year is that animated Lord of the Rings movie. So, I think probably Moana and Wicked will probably stay relatively at the top, maybe, just because I don't know how well that film's going to be. I mean, I'm hoping it's good, but we'll see.
And we'll see how Moana 2, if the mixed reviews will hurt its long-term performance or something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, you added this. Loki star
Yeah.
Jack Field no longer homeless after a wild journey. Thanks fans of support. Oh, I haven't heard about this. The
I just found out about this yesterday.
Teen says he had sorry.
So, if you guys don't know who this is the actor who played Kid Loki in the first season of the Loki series.
And then he just ended up homeless after that? Oh, God.
I apparently he didn't get any of the money from the Loki
Oh
series
my
or any
god.
of the other acting roles he was in. I think from what I understand, he came from an abusive household, and his mother, the money was being stolen, I think, by his father.
Oh my god.
And he couldn't stay with his grandparents. But when he, after like opening up about this, everyone kind of rallied to help him out. So it seems like he's getting accommodations. He has like a place to stay. Um, so it's like sometimes the world kind of sucks, but it's nice to know that we there's still like good people in the world. Everybody decided to come forward. It's like, okay, let's find a way to help him. Because it's like bullshit that he didn't get to keep like any of the money he made. And he ended up, in such a terrible, awful situation. So, it's just some good news.
Yeah, I just hope things pick up better for him now that he's got had a place to stay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I think also now that people know about this, they're going to probably be more aware and try to help him more. So, fingers crossed. I wish him nothing but the best. Now, okay, this news makes me extremely happy. Amber Heard is expecting baby number 2.
Oh wow.
Yep. She already has a daughter named Una Page, who she welcomed in 2021. And Una seems to be a very sweet, adorable little girl. She seems very happy. So I'm very happy that, she is expanding her family. Because, she still has money despite what people think. I think she made, like, a lot of really smart investments. So now, because I think even with, like, with the way like it is right now, there's been a lot of people have been talking. It's like, oh, people aren't having kids anymore. Well, it's just they're very expensive.
Yeah,
Guys.
just existing costs us a fortune, I feel.
Dude. Okay, so as someone who like works in a daycare, I have got to tell you, like, the thing I think that really is like people don't prepare you for is how much money you're going to spend on formula and also how much money you're going to spend on diapers, guys. Your kids are going to go through a lot of diapers, okay? Just giving you a heads up. So, congratulations to her, and fuck you, Johnny Depp.
Oh, I can only imagine the insult, the hateful comments the incels will start typing.
Surprisingly, we haven't gotten any incels yet. Have you noticed that?
Well, I think it's because we're still a small podcast, thankfully. So there's a
probably
perks to being small.
Yeah, so, oh, and speaking of Wicked.
Yeah. Kuwait bans Wicked due to reportedly LGBT plus cast. Yeah, you're more familiar with this than I am. Apparently, some people say that Wicked almost has LGBT undertones to it, or is it just fan shipping?
Okay, so if you guys don't know, The Wizard of Oz is sort of considered to be like a queer classic because a lot of people sort of they love the idea of a place like Oz, and they even use the term "she's a friend of Dorothy." Like the LGBT community rallied around like Judy Garland too, but in Wicked, in the book, it's kind of hinted at that Glinda and Elphaba might have had a relationship. It's sort of also hinted at throughout the book, but also Cynthia Erivo, who is the lead, she's a lesbian. She is with a woman, and there is also a character played by Bowen Yang, who originally was a female in the musical, but they made them. I think they made them a non-binary character. But yeah, also like when you look at the backgrounds, you can see like people of the same sex together. I'm also going to just use this as an example. There's a character named Fiyero. And Fiero's like the kind of the heartthrob. He comes in. Literally, when he comes in, there was a line of girls who were like all fawning over him. But you also see some boys fawning over him during his song "Dancing Through Life." He is flirting with everybody. It's like, this man is not straight. He is an equal opportunity flirter. Yeah, basically. Like in my mind, it's like, yep, Fiero bi confirmed. So, Yeah, this is not too surprising, but at the same time, it's not going to do anything. We just mentioned that this film is currently at 300 like million. It's gonna again, and it's based off of like a musical that won multiple awards. It's this isn't gonna hurt
And
it.
so far, it's the highest grossing and movie adaptation of a Broadway musical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so sucks for the people in Kuwait that they'll never be able to see this. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I wait, let's see.
You added this, I think.
Yeah, is it my turn to read this? So is it?
Yeah, your turn.
Scrubs reboot in the works. From Bill Lawrence. And so, yeah, Scrubs was a workplace a sitcom that aired on ABC that took place at a hospital. I remember my sister watched it for a while. I never really got into it personally. But
it ran for a long time, too. It says it ran from 2001 to 2010. Oh, damn.
And then, so nearly about 9 seasons. And then...
Yeah.
Yeah. This reboot, instead of going to be produced in ABC Studios, it got sold into 20th Century TV, or 20th Television, I should say. So the reboot's being produced there. Yeah, because Disney consolidated the TV, so ABC is now under the 20th Century umbrella.
So the thing is, I also never watched Scrubs. I kind of know of it through like memes. A lot of people use a lot of GIFs from the show. I'm not sure exactly how to feel about this, just because I don't know if like Scrubs holds up.
Yeah, I don't really know anyone who wanted this personally.
That's what I was gonna say. I always like some people's like, why do you always say nobody asked for this? Well, it's like you sort of have to look at what people like media moguls or like not media moguls, but like the consumers are asking for. And that's the thing, like about a lot of reboots, you have to actually look and be like, is this actually worth rebooting? So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay,
Okay.
I added this one.
This one's mine. Ubisoft shareholders in talks over possible buyout terms.
Yeah, Ubisoft's had it rough in the game market in these past few years.
I feel like that's an understatement. They're like, okay, they're like trying to stay afloat. Like their heads are almost underwater, but yeah, they have not been doing well in the past. Like what, 5 years?
Yeah, about 5 years. Like this is what happens when you try to release a AAA open world sandbox game every year. Yeah, like they must release an Assassin's Creed game every year as a cash cow, and there's this. I remember someone saying that the AAA game bubble has popped because not only are budgets getting out of hand, but developers think they can and use massive worlds to compensate for the lack of gameplay ideas and mechanics.
Yeah. Lack of gameplay mechanics, lack of like development with the characters, lack of engaging gameplay, and a lot of people are also really tired of microtransactions
and live service
like
games.
That's yeah, it's like, hey, here's the game, but it's not the full game. You have to purchase this DLC that should have been part of the game originally. And like, I honestly think the only game series I think that is like remotely doing it well for them is probably the Just Dance series.
Yeah, because
you can't really
seems to be more
fuck up a dance game
for them to make. Plus, they can also repackage all the games. Yeah, I feel that Nintendo is the only one of the big three that actually plans ahead. Like, they actually budget on their games and try to think outside the box. And also why you're seeing a big resurgence when it comes to indie games. Like, these smaller studios, they're willing to take a lot more creative risk when it comes to projects. Meanwhile, with all these massive multi-billion-dollar companies, they refuse to take any risks.
Yeah, like, I use this example a lot, but like Undertale, that's an indie game that has sort of, it had an impact on the, like, gaming industry, and other big companies have recognized that. Like, there is a Sand Skin in, what is it called?
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers? Yeah. And the thing is like, when we looked at the gaming awards, I think there was only a few games that were, like, from big companies. A lot of it was indie titles. and like you said, they're pushing the envelopes more than some of these other companies are. And the thing is, they don't have to sort of adhere to, it's like, oh, we can't add any LGBT characters to this. We can't add any characters of color. We can't have really deep, dramatic storylines. But they can do that because they're not, beholden to like what these big companies are. Like a lot of these big companies think that gamers are stupid and they don't want that. No, that's not true. We enjoy games that have really good storylines that are deep and can tell really, like that can handle a lot of serious subjects. There's a lot of like really good games that talk about depression and handle it really well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And the thing is like right now in this economy, it's like if I'm going to spend my money on a game, I want to make sure that I'm going to get some playability out of it. And a lot of these a lot of these like big game titles, it's not really always, worth the purchase. They're like $60 and it's like, no thanks.
70 these days.
I'm not purchasing it for 60. Yeah. I'll wait for it to go on sale. Like I still haven't bought a new Pokemon game just because it's like I still can't kind of be like, it's worth $60, So this is kind of isn't surprising. I'm sort of surprised they haven't talked about selling Ubisoft until now.
Yeah, because it's mostly owned by this one family called the Guillemot family. Probably butchered that. But the minority shareholders want to increase, he says, really pushing for a sale as the stock's declining.
Yeah. I also think the thing is it feels like Ubisoft sort of solely focuses on their franchises.
Yeah. Like
and doesn't branch
Coast
out.
One Game a Year franchise, and they recently had some kind of live service game that flopped recently. Went the way of Concord.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to see how this ends just because, I mean, again, like, Ubisoft has been sort of struggling for a while, so we'll see if anything comes of this. And you added this one too, right?
A new Simpsons Christmas special is coming to Disney Plus. Now, this isn't a show like the ones they've been doing here and there, but rather an entire special.
Oh.
And it's going to be airing exclusively on Disney Plus instead of TV.
Okay, I'm reading a little bit more, and it says this new special is teased to guest star as Pentatonics, Patti LaBelle, and mentalist Darren Brown.
Oh, come all ye faithful. I mean, oh, come on, all you faithful is what it's called. Sorry. And the premise is after Homer is lacking Christmas spirit, the family tries to take him to a hypnotherapist to help him get into the season, but it turns out it worked a little bit too well because now Homer thinks he's a Christmas elf.
That does sound very Simpson-esque.
Yeah, this is going to be the first Simpsons episode to be airing exclusively on a streaming service. Like, I remember recently Disney's just been doing this with Family Guy by having a few holiday specials exclusively on them.
All right. You have Disney Plus, so let me know how this is because I don't have a Disney Plus account right now just because I can't afford it. But I mean, who knows? Maybe it's good. Now, this I think is just this was just I think talked about today, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. Marvel Rivals launches to huge Steam concurrence. So Marvel Rivals is like a hero themed shooter with Marvel characters.
Yeah.
It seems. No, go ahead.
Yeah. Only some of the characters also have melee attacks. It's kind of like the Marvel take on Overwatch, but they still use attacks and special abilities that still feel like, the characters can do this.
Okay. And it says it peaked with concurrent player count of 444,286 on Valve's platform. That's really impressive for just being released.
Yeah, and that's just on Steam alone. They don't list the multiplayer numbers for the console versions. And for a comparison, on Steam, Overwatch 2, whose concurrent player count peaked at 75,000.
Oh, wow. I think we talked about seeing a trailer for this, and it looks actually really good. Like, the art is really decent. It's not like a sort of cheap, plasticky art style, which I I appreciate that. I appreciate when they put some effort into the games. And the thing is, Marvel's games are sometimes a bit hit or
Oh
miss.
yeah, definitely. And also another thing is that this is since Disney shut down the internal game studio, they just decided to license the characters to whatever developers want them. And I believe this was developed by NetEase. Are they a Korean or Chinese East company?
Marvel.
Chinese, yeah.
Marvels?
They are Chinese game
Chinese?
developer and tech company. Hey,
Yeah, it looks like they did a really decent
Yeah,
job.
like-
I think the art looks fantastic. Like the movements look good.
yes.
Excuse me.
Yes. So far, all the characters are available to play from the beginning, so you don't have to grind to unlock a new character, and
Oh, thank
all
God.
the microtransactions seem to be purely for cosmetic appearances. It's,
Okay, that's totally fine. I think most people are fine like with microtransactions as long as it's not like for gameplay.
Like, pay to
if
win.
it's like for if it's cosmetic stuff, that's usually fine.
So yeah, we'll see how
Well, I know
Marvel
you're happy about
Rivals
this.
does in it if it have legs in the concurrent season. So, oh, you added
We'll
this.
see. You're gonna be happy about this. I added this specifically for you.
Terrifier 3 returns to theaters for the holiday season. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised since it takes place around Christmas time, and not to mention Terrifier 3 grossed $50 million against a $2 million budget. And also it's been doing well on digital storefronts as well. Well, like
It's amazing how fast this like movie has sort of become. It's just grown.
it went from
You know.
a little known indie horror slasher to a sleeper hit to a massive effect cult following. And like it might be help kick off a horror resurgence, I feel. The only problem is studios learned a lesson about taking and risk while realizing they don't need big budgets to tell an amazing horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Fingers crossed.
this is just made okay. And that's the news. And do you want to go first with the recommendations, or do you want me to?
You can go first.
Okay, so my first recommendation is it's a SpongeBob Christmas. This was the first stop motion special they did it for SpongeBob SquarePants, and you can tell they took inspiration from the Wrecking Bass specials, but what I like about this is it has almost a stylized look to the stop motion, like so they can and perfectly mimic the scratch and stretch animation of that and visual slapstick of SpongeBob, but still have it all be a stop motion. And so the story in this special is that Plankton, in his latest scam to get at the secret formula, he creates Juggernium, a new element that turns everyone in Bikini Bottom into a jug. And he's hoping to use it in order to appear nice in comparison to everyone else, so he'll get on the nice list and get the secret formula.
I have to admit that's actually a clever plan.
Yeah, it's a fun special, and again the stop motion is top notch. You really see stylized stop motion these days, and I definitely recommend it. It's streaming on Paramount Plus at the moment, along with the rest of the series. And my second recommendation is not exactly festive. It's Creature Commandos. Now this is the first installment of the all-new DC Universe that James Gunn is overseeing, and it was bold of him to start with an animated series rather than a movie. So, hang on, let me look it up because I forgot the names of some of the characters.
No, it's fine.
So, another thing to keep in mind is that the James Gunn Suicide Squad film and Peacemaker are canon to this. It's because after the first events of the first season of Peacemaker, the Congress enacts a law that specifically states the government cannot risk its incarcerated humans in suicide missions anymore. But Amanda...
Even if they have powers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Amanda Waller thinks he found a clever workaround. Instead of risking human inmates, she risks incarcerated creatures. uh, such as the bride, the undead bride of Frankenstein's monster, G.I. Robot, a military android who was created to kill Nazis during World War II.
Oh, I already love him.
Weasel, a large earth rodent and like monster, and one of the sole survivors from the Suicide Squad.
He didn't even like go on like the mission. They thought he had died,
they
but
thought he
nope,
drowned,
somehow
but it
he
turns out
survived.
he was alive.
How he survived that fall into the water, we don't know, but oh well.
Dr. Phosphorus is a man who's made out of pure radioactivity. Like, he looks like a burning skeleton, and there's one bit where no one can tell what expression he's making because he's just a skeleton covered in radioactive fire. And finally, Nina Masuski, an amphibious scientist who can't survive outside of water. They are all led by Rick Flag Sr., the son of Rick Flag Jr. from the Suicide Squad. And so far, there's only 2 episodes, but it's amazing. Like the animation is top notch, and the humor is on brand for James Gunn, and the fight scenes are well choreographed and animated, and it can be surprisingly heartbreaking when it gets into the character's backstory.
That's the thing, like, about James Gunn is he's really good with giving, making you care about characters that like you don't know that well. Because again, like the creatures or commandos are kind of like with the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like nobody knew who they were. I'm not surprised that there's a lot of really good like emotional moments and stuff. Yeah, so I cannot.
And
wait to see this.
And it's also animated by Bobby Pills. Still best known as the studio behind Captain Laserhawk on Netflix and the adult sex ed animated comedy Peepodo and the Super Fuck Friends.
What?
Yeah, they got the same studio that's responsible for that pornographic comedy to animate this.
Wow.
Yes, I know, right?
What a name for a movie. Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
I am next. So since it's Christmas, I'm doing this thing where it's like I'm looking for new Christmas movies to watch, but I'm also revisiting some classics. And one I decided to revisit was Arthur Christmas. So imagine if you were like the son of Santa Claus. You think that sounds sort of like cool? And I mean, it is, but see, the thing is Santa has 2 sons. He has Steve, who's like this macho, buff guy who's, he's really smart and good at technical stuff. And then there's Arthur, who's very sweet and awkward. But what happens is one Christmas, after Santa was supposed to retire, they discover that one of the gifts has not been delivered. And the thing about Arthur, he's very hopeful and optimistic. And he's like, okay, we'll just take it to her. And like, this movie is so sweet and charming. And like, see, the thing is it's sort of one of the main things is like Steve thought he was gonna like take over for Santa. So there's this whole thing about I deserve to be Santa, da 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 da. But they kind of come to the realization that none of them understand what it's like, what being Santa is supposed to be, except for Arthur. I don't want to give spoilers, but like there's this really sweet scene at the end where the girl gets the present. It's such a good movie. It's by Aardman Animation, and it's one of the few like animated films they did, and it's really, really good. Also, the voice cast is really good because you have James McAvoy as Arthur, Hugh Laurie is Steve, and he's so freaking funny. Oh, but Bill Nye is Grand Santa, who is the current Santa Claus's grandfather. He's like 136, but man, he's so freaking funny. And then Jim Broadbent is the voice of Malcolm, the current Santa Claus. It just the voice acting was really, really good. It's a great cast of very talented British actors. And then, okay, so I think no one's going to be surprised by this, but my second recommendation is Wicked. Because, I mean, if you haven't been listening to our episodes, you guys know that I love everything having to do with The Wizard of Oz. Now, I originally didn't like, I still don't like the book this musical is based on, but it's amazing because while I dislike the book, I love the musical. Wicked is such a great musical. If you love The Wizard of Oz or fantasy or just love musicals, it's a really great one. And I was worried about the movie just because movie musical adaptations are sometimes really hit or miss. Um, I think I'm still a little burned by what happened with Cats, but I was so happy that this turned out to be really good. Everybody was cast perfectly in this movie. Cynthia Erivo kills it as Elphaba, and I'm actually not a big Ariana Grande fan, but I think this movie might have possibly made me a fan because she was phenomenal in this. If you guys don't know, she sort of has been I guess being like, hey, I want to be Glinda in the Wicked movie. Hey guys, it's Ari. I want to be like Glinda in the Wicked movie. She's been sort of trying to get herself to be in this movie. And now that she is, it's like, okay, you know what? She deserved to be in this movie because she did really good. Like, you haven't seen it, the musical, have you, Jad, at all?
No. My sister was obsessed for a while.
Well, your sister has good taste, but see, Glinda in this is kind of a bit of a ditz, but she's not stupid. It's like people kind of, I think, write her off as dumb, but she's actually pretty smart. And the thing is, she kind of starts off as like a mean girl. She and like Elphaba kind of have a rivalry, but like they become legitimate friends. There is a song at the beginning called "Good News," and it's the musical starts with like Dorothy having killed the Wicked Witch. And, she's singing this song, and then people starts, like, being like, oh, yeah, the Wicked Witch sucks. And you see on Ariana's face, she looks sad. Genuinely sad. Because the movie is about the relationship between Glinda and Elphaba, a.k.a. the Wicked Witch. I don't want to give, like, too much spoilers. I don't want to ramble on, but I highly recommend it. I'm dragging my fiancé to see it with me this weekend. However, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. There is one scene towards the end of the movie that might be a little too dark for children. You guys know the winged monkeys, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, in this version of the story, they were not born with the wings. They were given the wings. Yeah, and Elphaba is tricked into casting a spell. And the scene was, like, what happens is the monkey starts writhing, like, around in pain, and the wings start to pop out. I think it's more just it's very disturbing because you can tell the monkey is in pain and it's hurting him. And then like Elphaba's trying to get away, and the monkeys are slamming against like the windows and crashing into the windows and trying to grab at her. It's a little intense, so that's really the only thing I think if you want to see this and you maybe have kids in your family, maybe make sure they're like maybe 13 or 14. I think that's really the only scene that's a little too intense for children. But other than that, I give it a huge thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm seeing it this Monday with my mom. I managed to talk her into seeing it with me.
Okay, so if you do you want to do a special episode where we talk about our opinions on it?
Sure, why not? That'd be fun.
Woohoo! Okay, so Jad suggested this. So did you guys know that Adam Sandler has an animated movie kind of about Hanukkah?
Yeah, I remember when I was a preteen, when it was heavily advertised, yeah.
Me too. I remember seeing so many commercials for that. Well, we have two friends by the name of John and Luffy. Luffy was on our Paprika episode. John was on another Christmas episode. Well, Jad's like, hey, why don't we watch 8 Crazy Nights and have them be our guests? Well, I'm never, strayed away from a bad idea. I mean, we're going to have really great company watching a really weird, bizarre movie. So, next week, it's 8 Crazy Nights featuring Adam Sandler. Stay tuned, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.